Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we got some crazy stuff going on over here where GTA 6 actually might just get banned in America. Now, you guys might be thinking that's some crazy clickbait. It is like a little smidgen bit, but there's a lot of actual truth to this over here because there's a really big push right now from payment processors that are trying to censor pretty much every adult game, and Grand Theft Auto is actually at that same level. And at this kind of point too, a lot of gamers are kind of realizing this, and we're also now seeing reports of higher ups saying that GTA is going to be potentially really hard to go and buy, and a lot of these payment processors are overstepping. There's a lot of drama going on with it, so there's a little bit of truth to it in the first place. Now, do I personally think that GTA 6 is going to get banned or something? Probably not. If it is, I think Rockstar is like the one company out there that has enough money to make sure their game's going to keep on selling. And well, we've always had this big media push against the most popular games. Call of Duty, for example, was on news and mainstream media for years and years and years, saying how it's corrupting the minds of children, destroying the world. And same with GTA, where it's like, well, is this game gonna go and make, these kids crazy? And I'm sure you guys have heard this throughout the years. So let's go talk about the fact that right now, GTA 6 is probably going to get banned. Not really, hopefully, fingers crossed. And why there's all this drama behind it. So if I kind of want to go and talk about this first and foremost, Grand Theft Auto and Saints Row are now reportedly at risk of being delisted by payment processors, meaning if you have a Visa, MasterCard, you will not be able to even buy games like Grand Theft Auto. Now that's where the title comes in. Do I think this is going to be the long term what's going to happen in the world? I don't think so. I think it's going to be fine. I think the game will be viable. Let me just clarify that so I don't get some stupid person on YouTube comments. But this has been a bigger issue. So really quick on this, we'll get to GTA in a second. These past few weeks has been a really big push on payment processors and credit card companies that have been this is already ongoing. This is already happening. Basically censoring companies like itch.io, which is an indie game company, and Steam, and they're basically saying we do not want to have any out of these NSFW, inappropriate adult-style games, being able to be bought using our payment processors, which is why also people like things like Bitcoin or Ethereum, stable coins, because it's not as regulated. So if people want to block your bank account, block you from buying stuff with your own money, withdrawing your own money, well, guess what? You own it. They have no say into it. So basically, this has been the ongoing thing of itch and Steam have been censored by these payment processors. And a lot of people have been upset about this. I've been wanting to make a video on this, but I think the GTA title is kind of good for the clickbait to get the usual viewers in because this is a deep topic. And so basically, they're just de-indexing all adult, not NSFW content from its search engines, as well as hiding them from general browsing. Itch, which calls itself an open marketplace for independent digital creators with the focus on independent video games, released a statement saying it had come under scrutiny from our payment processors regarding the nature of some content hosted by the platform. And yeah, basically they've just been removing games from the Steam storefront that violate these rules and standards set forth by our payment processors. So this is MasterCard, Visa, Discover, these big credit card payment things, because they don't want their money in their network being spent on people buying inappropriate content. It's your money, you do whatever you want with it, these companies are overstepping hardcore. The statement seems to imply that these payment processors would revoke their services from Steam if these games are allowed to be sold, directly impacting business. Basically saying Visa and these big credit card companies are going to not even allow their cards to even be ran through things like, say, Steam, and you can't even buy games if they don't go and are acceptable in their policies. This is horrible, and this is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen, because as a payment processor, I'll be honest with you, I don't care what you think, as long as I'm not doing something actually illegal with my money, like buying uranium or something. Dude, why does it matter what I'm buying? Now, I'm not someone out there who are buying these gooning games and like 17 cat girls in my bedroom, type visual novel type style of games. I mean, I know some VTubers and stuff, don't get me wrong, but I'll just send them a DM if I want to go talk to some cat girls, you know what I mean? But this is not the vibe. This is horrible too, because this is done without informing creators beforehand, because this situation developed rapidly. So the end all be all is these payment processors are completely overstepping. Like, I mean, they want to remove certain games with certain topics, so guys can maybe glance on the screen. Like, it's like visual novels and all these other things too, and like various other games that shouldn't really be messed up. And we don't want to have gaming censorship happen. And this is where it gets worse. Because now, instead of them just being like inappropriate games or risque games, now it's games like Grand Theft Auto, which, if you really do look at it, big picture, do have these inappropriate things in them. I mean, you can do a lot of crazy stuff in GTA, but that's the fun of it. It's just you do whatever you want. But basically, this is why they're potentially getting banned. So over the last few weeks, payment processors, as we've discovered, have been pressuring these digital storefronts to remove these games. However, a Zoom platform representative claimed that the controversial campaign could go even further. One employee told Gaming on Linux that during conversations with payment processors, titles like Grand Theft Auto, Duke Nukem, and Saints Row were described as potentially at risk of being delisted, confirming worries that adult games aren't the only target of this big campaign, which is this payment processor censorship, having a deal with Steam, etc. And this has been ongoing for a while, getting a lot of attention everywhere. Zoom has no plans to remove any titles and is instead exploring alternate payment options such as wallet systems, which will allow users to add funds to their account and spend on all of their products. So basically their idea is like, hey, like instead of you buying, say, GTA for 80 bucks, you go and fund your wallet with $100 as like a general, like we don't care what you spend your money on, and then you can buy the game afterwards. I think maybe like a Steam wallet, PlayStation Network card, Xbox card, whatever, Visa gift card. That's still stupid. It's convoluted for no reason. These like payment processors are overstepping their bounds. GOG, which is like another big gaming company, is likewise refusing to delist adult games and instead made 13 of them free for 48 hours in protest. However, Zoom doesn't sell any Saints Row or GTA titles, whereas Steam, which has removed adult games, does. And this also has a similar thing, as I mentioned. We've seen these big companies, mainstream media, maybe moms and dads out there against the world, you know, whatever it might be, trying to remove these quote-unquote sketchy games. I think payment processors first took notice of adult games on these storefronts because of Collective Shout, an Australian political group that stands against the objectification of women. Like, that's fine. You know, I don't think women should be objectified or whatever. But I think a lot of women also want to play GTA. Like, you know, there's just different vibes. Founded in 2019, who I don't care, they're losers. And as a group of their driving force behind the delisting campaign, it would certainly make sense that any game it has previously taken issues with, like such as GTA, would be at risk. But I also, I'm not really like super hard left, super hard right. Kind of more of like hopefully mentally sane. I don't like these small political groups with maybe even valid takes, whatever, sure. But this is not valid. This is just someone that's like kind of drunk with power thinking that the world should be shaped the way that they wanted to be shaped. That's probably one of the stupidest and dumbest things ever. And these people should unironically just stay off the internet. Go stay at home, you know, do whatever they're doing. It's just stupid too as well. So this has been a major concern since it was discovered that Collective Shout was the one urging payment processors to take action too as well. For games like, you know, like Duke Nukem that were already censored in Australia. I mean, this is just stupid. While any developers have little resources against payment processors, billion-dollar corporations like Take-Two, Rockstar, have far more resources at their disposal should their games be targeted. Regardless, this has only fueled concerns about what payment processors might take issues with beyond adult games, which means that we're curious on what they're going to try to ban in the future. And I've been going through Reddit and stuff. We can see some of these comments saying too as well that people are like, hey, like maybe we want to go and find some new, like this might be a time for new stuff to step up. I personally think this is a great time for stuff like Bitcoin, you know, to use as a payment processor that has no bounds over it. You know, use Litecoin, use Ethereum, stable coins, whatever it might be. And at least credit cards and stuff like this are just stupid. I also do think that GTA6 is not going to get banned, hopefully, because it's Rockstar. And if so, they can probably just make their own website, sell their game on their own platform, and not even have to worry about things like Steam. Or just, you know, sit on PlayStation or whatever. But that's still the issue, because people buying stuff with MasterCard, Visa, whatever, may not be able to go and buy it, PayPal, etc. So I think this is stupid. I think it's not going to be banned, but I think that some people are just trying to go ruin the world for no reason, and I'm not really here for it. So let's hope that we don't have to deal with this in the future, and Rockstar's big money can handle everything else. Subscribe if you guys are new. Give me your thoughts down below. Appreciate y'all for watching.